sit down. This is not your courtroom. Sit in that chair.
The indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds.
Take her down to the jail.
What crime have I committed? Get off me. This is kidnapping. This is a false arrest. You are violating your oath, Mr.
What starts as a simple traffic case quickly erupts into courtroom chaos. A woman appears before the judge to address a warrant tied to minor misdemeanor charges, driving without a valid license and expired plates. But instead of answering the judge's questions, she begins making demands about indemnity bonds, questioning the court's authority and insisting her constitutional rights are being violated. If that sounds familiar, it's because these arguments are often associated with sovereign citizen-style legal claims, where individuals argue that courts or government officials lack jurisdiction over them. Courts across the country encounter these arguments frequently, and judges tend to respond very directly when they appear in proceedings. In this case, the tension escalates quickly. Thus, the judge wants one simple answer. Why didn't she appear for her scheduled trial? But the conversation takes a dramatic turn, leading to an arrest right inside the courtroom. Stay with us, because what happens next shows exactly how courts handle situations when a defendant refuses to follow courtroom procedure.
Oh, Mr. Iarochi.
Court is now on the record in City of Conneaut versus Amber McHenry, 24 TRD 819. Ms. McHenry entered no plea to charges of no operator's license and expired plates, each of which is a minor misdemeanor, on December 17th, 2024. I scheduled it for a bench trial for January 8th of 2025. Ms. McHenry was given notice of that bench trial. I have a signed receipt in the file showing she got notice of that bench trial. Present on January 8th, 2025 was the law director along with a police officer. Ms. McHenry failed to appear. As a result of her failure to appear, I issued a warrant for her arrest. That was January 8th. It's now over a month later, February 11th, and Ms. McHenry is now turning herself in on the warrant. She is in the courtroom, and she is without an attorney. Ms. McHenry, why were you not here on January 8th of 2025?
I have a question about the case.
Ms. McHenry, sit down. This is not your courtroom. Sit in that chair.
I have a question about the case. That's not the case number that I had.
Yes, it is, Ms. McHenry. You've got other cases pending that are set for jury trial.
The original case number that I had was like TDR like 0800 something. And
24 TRD 819.
819. Okay. I was just double checking on the case number. Can you repeat your question then? No.
Why were you not here on January 8th?
I put in an appearance and it was rejected and struck from the record, and I was sent a letter saying that I am not who I said I was. So I have a question about that because I don't understand.
This is not a discussion here. This is not a conversation. I ask a question, you respond to my question. Now, this is typical behavior for you because you're a sovereign citizen. At least you claim to be.
I've never claimed that.
Well, your documentation that you file, including the one you filed today that did not have a correct caption or case number on it, is indicative of that. So let me ask you, Ms. McHenry, again, why were you not physically, personally present in the courtroom on January 8th, 2025 for your trial?
I need the oath and bonds to be put for each person acting as a public official, in this case, who is acting as a public servant, to be put on the record. And I also require the indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds. Please, for the record, let it be known that you exited.
I
Well,
did.
asking.
I exited the courtroom and asked a police officer and probation officer to
Who
come
has the indemnity
present.
bond? Where's the bill of particulars?
The
Because
bond
I
is
did not
being,
receive it.
the warrant is being executed, you're being taken into custody, take her down to the jail now.
I was not given the warrant.
Take her down to the jail now.
Why am I being arrested?
Take her down
For
to the
what?
jail now.
What crime have I committed? Get off me. This is kidnapping. This is a false arrest.
Stop fighting.
No, this is a false arrest.
Okay, black.
This is kidnapping. They're violating my rights, my constitutional rights. I put in,
I thought the Constitution didn't apply to you.
the Constitution applies to every living man and woman.
Yeah.
You are violating your oath, Mr. Iarochi. What am I being arrested for? What am I being arrested for?
This moment perfectly illustrates what happens when courtroom procedure collides with sovereign citizen-style arguments. The underlying charges in this case were relatively minor, driving without a valid license and expired license plates. However, the situation escalated because the defendant failed to appear for her scheduled trial, which led the judge to issue a warrant for her arrest. Once she finally appeared in court, the judge repeatedly asked a straightforward question: why she missed the trial date. Instead of answering directly, she focused on demands for bonds, oaths, and jurisdiction challenges, arguments that courts across the country consistently reject because they have no basis in established law. From the judge's perspective, the focus wasn't on those claims, it was on enforcing the active warrant and maintaining order in the courtroom. That's why the hearing ultimately ended with officers executing the warrant and taking her into custody. Situations like this raise an interesting question. Do you think refusing to follow courtroom procedure ever helps someone's case, or does it usually make things worse? If you found this courtroom moment as intense as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.